The Silver Lantern Diner sat glowing in the warm afternoon sun, its neon sign flickering gently as cars passed by on the quiet road. The kind of place where locals felt at home and travelers felt safe. The kind of place where the coffee never stopped pouring. The pancakes were bigger than the plates, and the customers knew every server by name. Steven Seagal walked in that afternoon calm, relaxed, wearing a simple black jacket and jeans, sunglasses tucked neatly into his collar. He carried the quiet presence that made the room straighten without ever being told. The type of presence that made loud voices lower and restless customers sit still. He nodded to the waitress at the counter. "Hey Sharon, mind if I take my usual booth?" She smiled warmly. "Of course, honey. You know it's waiting for you. Just cleaned it too." Steven slid into the booth near the window. The sunlight hitting the table softly. He sat down his phone, ordered a black coffee and a turkey sandwich, then excused himself for a moment, heading to the restroom. The diner remained peaceful, forks tapping, coffee pouring, soft chatter rolling like a gentle breeze until the door swung open with a bang. A large man in a leather vest stomped inside, dragging the scent of cigarettes and aggression behind him. The kind of man who looked for fights when he woke up and celebrated them before he slept. His beard wild, his hair greasy, his boots heavy enough to rattle the salt shakers. His name was Gage Rollins, known around town as the diner bully. A man who took seats that weren't his, stole food from strangers, mocked the elderly, and dared anyone to confront him because no one ever did. He spotted Steven's booth, saw the half-finished coffee, the phone, the jacket neatly folded. A slow smile formed on his face. "Well, look at this. Prime real estate. Someone's fancy seat." He dropped his massive frame into Steven's booth, grabbed Steven's mug, and gulped it down like he owned the entire place. Sharon gulped nervously. "Gage, that seat is taken." Customer just stepped away for a moment. "Please choose another one." "Inch." Gage slammed the mug on the table. "Taken by who? Some old guy? Some wannabe tough man? You think I care whose seat this is? I sit wherever I want. Anyone got a problem with that? They can take it up with me." The diner grew silent. People stared down at their plates. A couple rose from their seats and left. Two teenagers pulled out their phones and started whisper recording. Sharon stepped back, eyes darting toward the restroom hallway. She knew exactly whose booth Gage had stolen. She knew exactly what was coming. Steven emerged from the hallway. Calm, hands relaxed, eyes steady. He walked toward his booth, every eye turning to him. Even the ceiling fan seemed to slow down. Gage didn't look up, just leaned back. Arms spread arrogantly across the booth, feet on the opposite seat, soaking in his own bravado. Steven reached the booth, stopped, stood quietly at the edge, his voice low but firm. "You're in my seat." Gage raised an eyebrow. Didn't move. Didn't straighten up. Didn't show an ounce of respect. "And who exactly are you telling me that you some kind of boss here? Some kind of hero? You think I care who you are?" Steven didn't react. Didn't blink. "That's my seat. I was sitting there." "Move." Several customers gasped, whispering, "Oh no. He picked the wrong booth. He picked the wrong man." Gage doesn't know who he's talking to. He is about to learn today. But Gage simply smirked. Laughed, loud, mocking, cocky. "Your seat. Your seat. You think this place belongs to you. You think you're special. You think people gotta bow when you walk in." Steven's eyes narrowed only slightly. "Move now." Gage leaned forward, his breath hot with the stench of cheap beer. He tapped the table, then reached over, grabbed Steven's sandwich from the tray where Sharon had placed it earlier, and smashed it into his chest. Food spilled down Steven's shirt, pieces falling onto the floor, mustard dripping down his jacket. The diner gasped. Someone dropped a fork. Another whispered, "He did. Not just do that. He insulted Steven Seagal. Oh, this man is done. He is done." Gage laughed so loud the windows rattled. "Oops. My bad. Sandwich slipped. Didn't know you were that fragile old man. What are you going to do? Cry about it?" Steven stood perfectly still, breathing unchanged, face calm. He didn't brush off the food, didn't adjust his shirt, didn't wipe the sauce. He just stared at Gage with a look that sent ice through the entire diner. Gage wasn't finished. Not even close. He scooped up a handful of fries, threw them at Steven, pieces sticking to his shirt, sliding down his jacket. The crowd gasped louder. A couple filming whispered, "This man is literally throwing food at Steven Seagal. He doesn't know. He really doesn't know." Gage's voice rose. "Yeah, this is my seat now. Old man, go sit somewhere else. Or better yet, walk out before I throw you next. Steven finally moved. One step forward, then another. Smooth, silent, controlled. Gage attempted to stand, but Steven's hand gripped his shoulder lightly, but in a way that froze Gage's entire body. Steven leaned in, his voice low, steady, cold. You're going to regret everything you just did. Gage scoffed. You don't scare me. I've beaten bigger guys than you. I'll knock your teeth down your throat. Step back before I. Steven pulled him from the booth so fast the table shook. Plates jumped. The salt shaker flew sideways. Before Gage could even plant his feet, Steven's palm struck his chest. A single explosive blow. Precise. Deadly. Effortless. Gage flew back across the diner, crashing into a table, knocking plates, glasses, silverware in every direction. People screamed, waitresses ducked, chairs toppled, but Steven wasn't done. Not even close. Gage groaned on the floor, trying to get up, his hands shaking, his legs wobbling. You think you can hit me? You think? Steven reached and grabbed him by his shirt collar and lifted him like he was weightless. Threw him onto another table, smashing it instantly, sending crumbs and dishes everywhere. The customers jumped back, some cheering, some screaming, some in awe. Gage tried crawling, breathing ragged, trying desperately to rise to his feet. Steven's steps echoed. Slow, certain, terrifying. He reached the fallen bully, grabbed him again, this time by the vest. You threw food at me. You insulted me. You tried humiliating me. Now look at you flat on the ground. Exactly where cowards belong. Gage tried to swing. A sloppy, desperate punch, but Steven caught his wrist, twisted it effortlessly. Gage screamed. Steven lifted him again and slammed him into the counter. The entire diner shaking. Coffee mugs rattling. Syrup bottles tipping over. Customers jumping back. The room was shaking with adrenaline. Oh my God. He's killing him. He's destroying him. This is insane. This is the most real thing I've ever seen. Gage's eyes were wide. Terror replacing every ounce of arrogance he once had. Please. Please. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I didn't know it was your seat. I didn't know it was you. Please let me go. Steven stared into his eyes. Calm, deadly. You knew it belonged to someone. That was enough. You choose who you bully. Today you chose wrong. Then Steven struck again. A knee to Gage's stomach. A second to his ribs. A palm strike under his chin. A quick flip, sending him crashing to the floor. The crowd screamed. The teens filming whispered. This is going viral. This is going everywhere. He deserved it. Oh my God. He deserved all of it. Gage lay on the ground. Barely conscious, barely breathing, his pride bleeding more than his bruises. Steven stepped back, hands relaxed, breathing steady. He didn't look shaken. He didn't look angry. He simply looked finished. The diner remained silent, except for Gage groaning. A low, pathetic sound. Steven looked at Sharon. Sorry about the mess. I'll pay for everything he broke. Sharon shook her head, hands trembling. No, honey. That man has been terrorizing this diner for years. He finally met his match. Thank you. Thank you so much. Steven turned away, walked back toward his booth, food on his shirt, calm as the ocean. But the story was only getting started because Gage Rollins, the diner bully, wasn't done yet, and his comeback would lead to the most brutal ending. The Silver Lantern Diner was dead silent after Steven Seagal knocked Gage Rollins across 3 tables. Every person inside trying to process the shock that unfolded like a live-action movie. Customers whispered nervously. Waitresses peeked from the kitchen. Teens replayed the footage on their phones again and again. The bully they feared for years now lay on the floor groaning like a beaten dog. Not powerful, not intimidating, not untouchable, just broken. Steven calmly returned to his booth, picked up a napkin, wiped the pieces of sandwich and fries off his shirt, his breathing steady, his eyes calm, like he had simply solved a minor inconvenience. Sharon approached him carefully, still trembling, her voice soft. Steven, honey, I don't know how to thank you. That man has been tormenting people for months, and nobody had the courage to stop him. You did what the police never could. Steven nodded. I didn't do it for applause. He provoked. I finished, but the moment wasn't over. Not even close. Gage Rollins rolled to his side, coughing, holding his ribs. His pride screaming louder than his body. He glared at Steven, hatred boiling in his eyes. You're dead. You hear me? You're dead. This ain't over. This ain't over by a long shot. Steven didn't look back, didn't acknowledge him, simply continued wiping his jacket clean. Gage spit on the floor, his voice cracking. You think you can embarrass me in front of everyone? You think you can humiliate me? You don't know who I am. I run things around here. I'm connected. People fear me. They obey me. You're nothing but an old man with lucky punches. Stevean spoke without turning his head. You're still talking even after everything. That tells me you didn't learn a thing. Gage growled, forcing himself to his feet, barely balancing, but still fueled by pride and stupidity. You think it's just me? Think again. I got boys. Real boys. Men who don't ask questions. Men who don't back down. Men who break people like you for breakfast. Stevean raised an eyebrow. Still calm. Then go get them. But make sure they understand. They'll end up just like you. The diner gasped. Everyone froze. Someone whispered, "Oh my God, he is challenging all of them. He's not scared of anything. This is unreal." Gage snarled, "I'll be back with my crew, and we're going to tear you apart." Stevean finally looked at him. Just a glance, cold, silent. "If you think so, try." Gage stormed out of the diner. Stumbling, rib aching, jaw bruised, but rage guiding his feet. The door slammed behind him. The diner exhaled. Sharon whispered, "Stevean, you really want to stay? He's dangerous. He'll bring others. You don't need to do this. You could leave right now. No one would blame you." Stevean took a sip of his coffee. Leaving won't stop a coward. Facing him will. And so Stevean stayed, calmly, eating, sipping, breathing, waiting. 20 minutes passed. Customers nervously whispered. Some left. Some stayed glued to their seats, unable to walk away from the unfolding legend. Then outside, the roar of deep engines filled the street. 3 black trucks pulled up, engines revving loudly, doors slamming, boots stomping on gravel. The diner trembled. Gage Rollins returned. Not alone. 6 men stepped out with him. All large. All buzzing with aggression. All wearing leather vests, tattoos crawling across their arms, chains hanging from their belts, knuckles wrapped. These were street fighters, bar brawlers, men who hurt others for fun. Gage pointed toward the diner door, spit flying as he shouted, "That's him. That's the old man who embarrassed me, who humiliated me. We're going to make him pay. We're breaking everything in that diner with his face." His men laughed, cracked their knuckles, and marched inside. The bell above the door jingled innocently, contrasting the walking storm entering beneath it. The diner froze, utter silence, except for the boots pounding the floor and the men breathing like wild beasts. Customers hid behind the counter. A mother pulled her son under the table. Sharon's hand shook violently as she clutched a tray. Stevean did not move. He sat calm, relaxed, hands resting on the table. Gage pointed at him. "Get him." The 6 men marched toward Stevean, surrounding his booth, blocking the exits, their shadows covering him like a dark cloud. The leader of the group, a massive man with a thick beard, cracked his neck. "You the one who laid out our boy." He flexed his shoulders. "You should have left when you had the chance. Now we gotta break you. Nothing personal, just respect." Stevean slowly rose from his seat. The booth creaked. His shadow grew, and the entire diner felt the temperature drop. His voice was quiet, calm, and terrifying. "You came looking for a fight. Now you found one, but you won't enjoy what happens next." The men lunged all at once. A storm of fists, arms, weight, noise. But Steven Seagal moved like water, like wind, like something beyond human. The first man swung. Steven stepped aside, grabbed his wrist, and flipped him over the table, crashing him into a pile of plates. The second man charged. Steven's palm struck his chest. The man flew back, hit the wall, collapsed in a heap. The third and fourth attacked together. Steven blocked one punch with his forearm, grabbed the other man's collar, and slammed both heads together. A sickening thud echoing through the diner. They fell unconscious instantly. The fifth man grabbed Steven from behind, arms around his chest, trying to hold him. Steven leaned forward, shifted his weight, and flipped the man over his shoulder, sending him crashing onto a booth so hard the wooden frame snapped. The sixth man tried to run, tried to flee, but Steven caught him by the back of the neck, dragged him across the floor, and dropped him beside the others like trash. The diner gasped, cheered, cried, filmed, couldn't process the brutality, the speed, the power. In under 20 seconds, 6 grown men lay unconscious, broken, scattered across the diner like fallen dominoes. Gage Rollins stared, mouth open, eyes wide, his entire body shaking. "No, This can't be real. You can't be human. I brought 6 men, and you dropped them. You dropped them like nothing. You monster. Steven stepped toward him. Gage stumbled back, slipping on a spilled milkshake, crawling away like a terrified child. Steven's shadow swallowed him. You said you run things. You said people obey you. You said people fear you. Now look at you. Look at where your mouth brought you. Gage whimpered. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't hit me again. Please. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have touched your seat. I shouldn't have thrown food. I shouldn't have insulted you. Please let me go. Please. I'm begging you. Steven crouched, face inches from Gage's. I gave you one chance. You wasted it. Now I finish this once and for all. Steven lifted his hand. Gage screamed. The diner froze. The final knockout was coming. Gage Rollins lay on the diner floor, trembling so hard the tiles beneath him clicked. Sweat drenched his forehead. His breath quivered. Every bit of his former swagger gone, erased, destroyed, crushed beneath the weight of the man standing over him. Steven Seagal, silent as a storm, calm as a mountain, dangerous as a blade drawn in the dark. Around them, 6 of Gage's men lay unconscious, strewn across booths, tables, chairs. Just moments ago, full of bravado, now nothing but broken lessons. The customers of Silver Lantern Diner watched in stunned silence, eyes wide, hands over mouths, phones raised, but hands shaking. They had just witnessed something too unreal, too brutal, too perfectly executed to forget. The diner owner, Mr. Harland, whispered, "Dear Lord." He took down 7 grown men by himself. 7 in seconds. This man is not human. But to Steven, there was no applause, no thrill, just the simple truth. A bully, a coward needed to be stopped. Steven crouched beside Gage. The bully flinched, crying out, hands raised in weak defense. Please, please, no more. I'm done. I'm done. I swear I'm done. I shouldn't have touched your seat. Shouldn't have insulted you. Shouldn't have thrown food on you. I know I'm trash. I know I deserve this. Just please don't hit me again. Please, I'm begging you. Please. The fear leaking from his voice filled the diner like fog. Everyone listened. No one interrupted. Steven looked into Gage's eyes. His voice low, soft, more terrifying than shouting could ever be. You don't fear me. You fear the truth. The truth that you have nothing, no honor, no strength, no respect, only noise, pain, and insecurity. Gage swallowed hard, voice breaking. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just let me go, man. I'll never come back. Never. I swear on my life. I'll leave this town. I'll disappear. Steven shook his head slowly. You want forgiveness. But you never gave any. All these people in here. You hurt them for years. You terrorized them. Bullied them. Made them fear showing up for breakfast. You turned a peaceful diner into your playground of cruelty. And today you tried to humiliate me, then threatened me, then attacked me with 6 grown men. Gage sobbed loudly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please. I'm begging you. Don't knock me out again. I can't take another hit. Please. Steven leaned in. Closer. So close. Gage felt the heat of his breath. I'm not going to hit you. The diner gasped. Sharon covered her mouth. Even Gage's own gang members unconscious on the floor would have gasped if they could. Steven stood tall, eyes still locked on the trembling bully. You want your punishment? You want the consequences? Here they are. He pointed around the diner. You will clean every mess you made today with your own hands. Every plate, every table, every drink you spilled, every piece of trash, every bit of chaos you caused. You will do it while everyone here watches. You will not speak. You will not complain. You will work until the diner is spotless. And when you are done, you will apologize to every person in this room, one by one, face to face. And then you will walk out of here and never come back. If you do, if you even step foot near this place again, you won't get a second chance. Do you understand me? Gage nodded so fast he nearly knocked himself unconscious. Yes, I'll do it. I'll clean everything. I'll apologize to everyone. I swear it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for not hurting me again. I owe you my life. Steven stepped aside. Gage scrambled like a panicked animal, grabbing napkins, rags, anything he could find, crawling around the floor, cleaning spilled drinks, picking up broken plates, wiping splattered food, gathering the scattered pieces of his own humiliation. Every customer watched in stunned silence, some shaking their heads, some recording, some whispering. That's better punishment than breaking his jaw. He's learning, finally learning. This is justice. Real justice, not violence. Not revenge. Just truth. Sharon watched too, eyes soft with admiration. Her voice low. That man is cleaning because he's terrified, but also because he knows Steven is right. Steven stood silently in the corner, arms crossed, watching Gage work like a man trying to save his own soul. It took nearly an hour of sweat, tears, and humility. But when Gage finally stood up, breathing hard, shaking, red-faced, the diner was spotless. He approached the first customer, a grandmother sitting with her granddaughter. His voice cracked. "I'm sorry for everything, for scaring you. I'm sorry." She nodded gently. "You should be. But maybe this is your chance to change." Gage moved to the next table. A young couple. He apologized. They nodded. Then two teenagers he once bullied. They accepted. Sharon. He apologized to her. She forgave him barely, but she did. He reached the last person. Steven Seagal. Gage froze, his entire body trembling. The diner silent, every ear listening. "I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry for taking your seat. I'm sorry for throwing food at you. I'm sorry for insulting you. I'm sorry for bringing my men. I'm sorry for everything." Steven stepped closer. The room held its breath. He placed a hand on Gage's shoulder. Not violently, not aggressively, but firmly. "Go home. Change your life, or you will see me again." Gage nodded, tears streaming, voice tiny. "Yes, sir. I understand. I promise. I promise I'll change. Thank you for not destroying me more than you already did." He turned, walked out the door, the bell jingled, the trucks drove off, and the diner finally breathed again. Mr. Harland approached Steven, voice trembling. "Sir, I don't know how to repay you. Gage terrorized this place for a year. You did in minutes what we could never do. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're welcome here anytime. Any meal on the house forever." Steven gave a small, respectful nod. "I didn't do it for free food. I did it because people here deserved peace. Bullies only grow when nobody stands up. Today was the day someone stood up." Sharon smiled warmly. Proud. Relieved. Grateful. "You're a hero, Steven. A real hero. Not the movie version. The real kind. The kind people tell stories about." For years. Steven picked up his jacket, pulled it over his shoulder, and walked toward the door. The entire diner watched. No one spoke. Not until the door closed behind him. Mr. Harland whispered, "The legend of Steven Seagal. There's nothing like it. Nothing outside." Steven stepped into the sunlight. Breeze brushing his face. Calm restored. Another day, another lesson, another bully defeated without losing his peace. The street felt quiet, safe, balanced, and somewhere far behind him inside the diner. People knew they had witnessed more than a fight, more than justice, more than strength. They had witnessed the calm, unstoppable force of a man who protected the innocent, destroyed the cruel, and walked away without asking for anything in return. The legend stood, the story lived, and everyone who saw it would never forget it.